Hello. Today I'm going to be demonstrating both Win4Yaesu and Win4Icom. It's been a number of years since I have produced a video on these, and what's there on YouTube is really an old version. So I thought it would be useful for new users as well as for seasoned users because there may be a few things you may not be aware of. So today I'm going to be showing Win4Yaesu for the FTDX 101 and Win4Icom for the IC7610. Most of what you see is going to be applicable to all the other radios that are supported. You can get that information on my website www.yaesu.va2fsq.com and www.icom.va2fsq.com. So what we see right now is Win4Yaesu with the control window right here, and we have a spectrum scope open up using an SDR play tuned to the broadcast band. We have this spotting program called Club Log Spots. I'll get into that in a little while, and also both an audio scope and an audio spectrum display. So we're going to start with going over the control window itself because that's the heart of the whole program. I'm just going to close down the others. And as I said, I'm going to be concentrating on the FTDX 101, but the IC7610 from ICOM is more or less exactly the same. So what I show for the Yaesu radio is the same thing for the IC7610. If there's any major differences, I will show them. Alright, so we start off with the control program for the Yaesu radios. Basically, it's very different than what you see on the radio. But I mean, if you look at the radios, things change drastically between an FTDX10, for example, a FT991, and an FT710. Everything's different on them. However, if you use Win4Yaesu, it's going to be the same basically for all three radios. So everything is organized into a logical fashion. We have a section for the bands, we have a section for modes, we have a section for the RF, which includes things like the antenna, amplifiers, attenuation, tuners, the tune button. We have a CW area, okay, where we can have spotting for the CW signals. We've got VFO-A, controlling the volume, RF gain, squelch, and VFO-B, which would apply to any radio that's got a dual a dual receiver. Okay, we have a transmit section. Okay, and we have some ability to transmit, for example. We have an indication if the SWR goes high over 2 to 1. We've got a VFO section. Okay, it has certain information in here. We can go into split. If we right click on split, we can actually select a predefined split value. Normally, many of these things, if you just hover over them, you will see that they could give you a hint. Okay, here for example, with the memories. Okay, so we also have a section for memories that supports the quick memories and the memory recall. It uses the recall memory depending on mode, for example, text for CW, RTTY, PSK, and the digital voice for voice. We also have the clarifier. We have the VC tune, and that only applies to certain radios, not all radios. And then we have a section on the filters. As you can see, we have things like contour. We have the noise blanker and the different levels that you can change. We have the width and so forth. And as well, if your radio has roofing filters, you're able to select them. Up here, we have meters. Okay, so it's possible, for example, to view the power, or if you right click on that, you can pick ALC, standing wave ratio, compression, current, and the voltage currently in use. For the voltage, Yaesu is kind of funny. You have to actually do a transmit first, and then you'll see it. Okay, same thing for here, for the VFO A and the S meter. What you have is the ability to have different meters there as well. So you can have power here, voltage there if you want. You can also have it so that if you enable switch on transmit, for example, then when you transmit, it will show ALC as an example. Okay, I can show that right now. I can go over here and click on transmit. Okay, and then we'll see the ALC level change. And then when you get out of transmit, it goes back to VFO-A. So that's basically the majority of the control program. And if you take a look at the ICOM 7610, it's very much the same. You have the various sections such as the band, the mode, the RF sections, CW, the transmit section, the filter section, voice and data, and again you have the meters here that you can select. Okay, there we go. Something's wrong with the display here, mainly because I'm using the screen recording function. Okay, so anyways. Okay, so now let's take a look at some of the other features of the software. Alright, first of all, for the Yaesu radios, you have a parametric equalizer. Okay, so the Yaesu radios have parametric equalizers in them. You can enable, disable, and so forth. You've got it for the microphone. You can adjust the gain. It gives you a visual representation of it. You can adjust the frequency of where the filter takes place, and the Q factor, which is basically the steepness of the filter applied to that frequency. Okay, I'm going to disable these for now. Okay, so the parametric equalizer is one. In the tools, you also have radio menus. Now, not all of them are there. All of the ones that basically you would adjust at runtime and that don't have anything to do with the display on the radio are available in the menu. So, for example, you've got the radio settings, and here you've got all of the various parameters you can set. You can select different modes, so forth. Go back to the main menu. You have settings for CW, keyer, decoding. Unfortunately, decoding is not available in the software because Yaesu does not make that available. It will not send the CW characters down to external software. And you also have the operational settings. So it's pretty complete, and if you want to select something, you just go ahead and change it there. That's basically it for the menus. Now, all of the radios that are supported by Win4Yaesu have the menus. Older radios like the FTDX 3000 and 5000 have a different format for the menu, more like a table, but the parameters are adjustable anyways. Okay, in addition to that, we can now take a look at the windows. Alright, so we have this thing called Club Log Spots. Basically, what this is it allows a connection to a cluster that you normally use, but at the same time it will download your profile from Club Log, assuming you've uploaded a log there, and then display the spots according to new, worked, confirmed, and verified. They are color coded. So right here, for example, Hungary on 30 meters, or Galapagos Island on 10, I've never worked them. Okay, so it's in yellow. All right. If I only want to see the new, I can just disable these, and then show the DX again, and it's going to show me all the new ones. Okay, there seems to be quite a few in Africa and so forth. I guess I'm going to have to go on the air later. There's a lot of new ones out there that I haven't contacted. Forget China, though. I did get them on 20, but 40, highly doubt it. Okay, so that is club log. And these spots, as well as their color codes, show up on the spectrum. So I'm going to now get everything again. And I'm going to go to the next window. We're going to take a look at the IQ spectrum. It uses an SDR play. All of the SDR plays are supported except the brand new one that just came out a couple of weeks ago, the RSP1B. I'm still working on integrating that. There seems to be some differences in it compared to all the other RSPs that are out there. Anyway, so you can display a spectrum from the SDR play. If you select spots, anything that is in here and you're on the right band will show up. So I'm going to show that on 20 meters, for example. Okay, you can see spots have shown up from here on there, and you can click on one of these to actually do a QSY. Okay, and there you go. This is quite useful. That's basically how the club log and the spectrum scope work together. Okay, the waterfall here should probably be changed a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Okay, next we have a CW terminal. Now, the thing about the CW terminal is Yaesu gives you no way to actually go ahead and send CW via software. So for Yaesu radios, you need to use a Win key. All right. So I'm not going to get into this too much, but you should purchase a Win key, and you should make it that you get the fully capable one, because you're going to want to have a side tone on it. The mini Win key, I believe, does not have a side tone. Excuse me. Okay, next. We also have frequency memories. For example, you can pick a particular frequency. If I wanted this one in there, I could go somewhere in the frequencies. Let's say right there, right click and say replace memory with current radio settings, and it will take whatever you've set in there and put it in a memory, and you can give it a label if you wish. Once you've got your frequencies, you can just go ahead and click on them on the button here, and it will actually do a QSY to that particular frequency. Okay, so that is frequency memories. You have the ability to have a macros, which are cat macros. You can define whatever you wish, and then you can store them and give them labels. I have one here, WWV, for example, takes me to 10 megahertz. The display of this is very configurable. If you only wanted a few of them showing up, let's say just those, you could just have that, and then you'll be able to just use those buttons. Okay, next. Next, we'll take a look at the Shortwave database. Okay, we don't need this at the moment. Win4Yaesu comes with a Shortwave database using the EIBI Shortwave database. It has several thousand stations in there. To use it, you would select a frequency, for example, a band, and then select what's on air. Okay, and then if you were to click on one of these stations, it would come up. As you can see, there's quite a few of them in here. And they're all bunched up, so I'm going to zoom in. We get to see a little more. Actually, propagation looks not to be all that great. There should be some at this time of the day, I would think. Anyhow, again, this is kind of neat. Some people like to use the radios for shortwave listening, so this gives you a way to do it. Okay, so we'll close that down and close this down. And then take a look at what else we have here. Shortwave data. We also have, as you saw before, we have the audio spectrum. Okay, that can show a spectrum, and I have it hooked up to my microphone right now, as you can see. As I play with the microphone, it reacts appropriately. Same thing with the spectrum. This is basically comes from a fast Fourier transform, and it shows the spectrum of the audio in real time. So those are those two. We'll take a look now at Win4Icom, because the spectrum is a little bit different. There's two capabilities. So here's Win4Icom. Win4Icom has built in to it the ability to stream the spectrum that you see on the screen of the radio. It is low resolution, but it does work. So I can pick, for example, VFO-A. Oops, it's over here. And then it appears, and I'm going to change my antenna. Okay, and you'll see that signal show up. The frame rate's fairly slow, and the resolution's fairly slow, but it does work. It's a little better if you use the network utility from ICOM's RSBA1 software. Win4Icom will support the network utility that RSBA1 comes with. Other than that, most of the remaining items are the same. The input-output menu, excuse me, is available. Here you can set things like the output level of the USB, the modulation level, what the input connections are using. So if you're in data mode, you want to have modulation on the USB input into the radio. And other modes, voice for example, you might want to use mic and USB, and you can select that to just be one of them if you wish. Okay, so that's that menu. Now we'll take a look quickly at the settings menu. Okay, if I click on settings, okay, whoops. Okay, you have all the usual things like setting up the model of the radio, which COM port it's using, and so forth. You also have accessibility. You can enable speech selected. Can select speech, for example, and this is more important for people. You know, if I 17 meters selected. It's for people with visual impairments. It is a custom implementation. Okay, it's a enable speech unselected. It's for people who are visually impaired, and it's a custom implementation because most of the screen readers out there do a very poor job of reading what the actual controls are, especially in something as complex as Win4Icom and Win4Yaesu. Both, all my products currently, except for Win4K3, have voice capabilities built in. Okay, now in Tools Settings, one of the most important features of Win4Icom is the third-party hardware and software capabilities. Win4Icom has a single connection to the radio. Same thing with Win4Yaesu. There is one connection via USB to the radio. How do you share this with other applications at the same time? Well, Win4Icom has built in 6 virtual radios. These radios operate independently of each other and share the COM port, the main COM port of the radio. So you can connect up to 6 different applications here, as well as up to 4 hardware products. And the way it's done is with a cable between Win4Icom and the other software using COM0Com. So if you're familiar with COM0Com at all, when you create a COM port pair, you assign two COM ports in it for it. So, for example, COM16 and COM17 would be a cable, a pair, and in order to connect to other software, you would, for example, come in here and put one side of the pair here, and in the other software you put the other side of the pair, and then you can communicate to that other software application. I'm not going to show it right now because I'm not sure what's hooked up, but there is a video on my website that shows this in full detail, and it is available both for Win4Icom and Win4Yaesu. Okay, another thing that is available with Win4Icom and Win4Yaesu is a HRD logbook server. Let me just look for it here. Yeah, all you have to do is start up HRD logbook, and it will sync to Win4Icom or Win4Yaesu. And here we go. As you can see, we have, whoops, we're syncing up right now, sorry, to the other product. I'm going to move that off and that off, and I'm going to bring in Win4Yaesu. There you go. We have the frequency is set up, the mode. When you create new things, you can open up your cluster over here, and you can go ahead and just click on the spots, for example, and it will tune the radio. Okay, so this is built into Win4Icom, Win4Yaesu, and Win4K4. All of my products has this capability. Very nice feature. Of course, if you use other applications such as DX Lab, N3, FJP, all of them will work as well. However, you have to use the third-party software settings. So, basically, that's it. I've given a very fast overview of the software. As you can see, there's a lot to learn. There are tutorials available, and the manual is quite comprehensive for these two products. So thank you very much for spending the time listening, and look forward to hearing from you in the future. Thank you.